Two of Legacy's Women and Wealth series. In honor of Women's History Month, we have been focusing on the effect of the pandemic on women. In this discussion, we'll continue by focusing on the pandemic's effect on women and their finances. But this discussion is not just important to women, it's important to everyone, because we all have mothers, spouses, daughters, and other females who are important in our lives. Hi, I'm Kathy Brost, and I'm joined today with my colleagues Sue Hickey and Thurs. Women in the workforce have changed drastically in the last several decades. Women now make up over 52% of U.S. professionals and managers, compared to just 18% back in 1975. According to the National Association of Women Business Owners, women now own over 12 million, or about 40% of U.S. businesses, and those businesses generate over $1.8 trillion per year. According to McKinsey & Company's 2019 Women in the Workplace survey, women control a third of the total U.S. household financial wealth. And by 2030, American women are expected to control over $30 trillion in financial assets that baby boomers will possess, a potential wealth transfer of such magnitude that it approaches the annual GDP of the United States.
Women have undoubtedly made huge strides in the workplace, but unfortunately, when it comes to saving for retirement, women still lag behind men. Women do live longer, so they definitely need a little bit larger nest egg. During the pandemic, women took on more childcare, homeschooling, and in general, provided more care for their families, resulting in unplanned and in some cases, forced retirement during what should have been their peak earning years. Much of this work is unpaid labor, which means many women not only had to give up their income, but they were also no longer contributing to their retirement plans or earning Social Security benefits. This will have financial impacts well beyond the pandemic for the women, their spouses, and their families.
Also, consider that women have higher healthcare costs and long-term care costs than men. They're more likely to be disabled for a longer period of time. 58% of women will need long-term care compared to 47% of men, and they tend to live longer. They outlive their spouses. Women are less likely to have family members around who can take care of them. 2/3 of residents of nursing homes are women. Statistically, because women are often the second to die in a marriage, even financially secure couples may face the unintended consequence of the woman being left with depleted assets to maintain her standard of living and to pay for her own care because they've used much of their savings for costs related to her husband's health care. According to Morningstar, women's Social Security benefits on average are 20% less than men. In the instance of a married couple for which the husband was the primary breadwinner after his death, his spouse will receive only the greater of the couple's Social Security benefits. In summary, after her husband passes away, many women are left with fewer assets and reduced income. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services cites the median annual income of women who are 65 and older is a whopping 41% less than men. Since women tend to outlive their spouses, women are the ones most concerned with and most likely to run out of money by the end of their life. According to the Center for Retirement Research, 46% of married women are at risk of being unable to maintain their standard of living in retirement versus 32% of married women, where they were the primary breadwinner, and 39% of women who are single. The reason behind this is the design of the Social Security benefit system, inadequate savings in the workplace retirement plans, and adverse impacts of divorce. Married couples have become accustomed to a two-income lifestyle and may have trouble maintaining it after the untimely death of one spouse or the unexpected loss of a job. Married couples also pay more in Social Security taxes than one-income households and save proportionately less in the workplace retirement plans. Younger generations are at greater risk than older generations, as few will have access to traditional pension plans. Therefore, their retirement wealth is dependent almost entirely on their own savings behavior and the strength of the economy. Surprisingly, the CRR found that younger baby boomers have acquired 54% less wealth in their 50s than older baby boomers had accumulated at the same point in their lives. The current pandemic related to economic turmoil will almost certainly have a negative impact on overall household savings rates, at least for a while.
The stock market turned volatile when the pandemic hit the United States in early March of 2020. The S&P 500 suffered its single worst day of trading in decades on March 16th, and at the same time, the NASDAQ was down 12.3%, being its largest percentage loss in history. From the February 19th S&P 500 all-time high to the bottom on March 23rd, the S&P had declined 34%. March of 2020 was certainly one for the record books. The month ended with the S&P down 12.5%, and it also recorded its 19th worst month in history. Then, almost as quickly, the market reversed course. By August of 2020, the market was back and was hitting new all-time highs. Much of the pandemic, the gains the stock market were based in large part on a few widely held stocks. Individuals who held those stocks in their portfolio, they recouped their losses and generally did very well. But those who did not stay invested during the pandemic, or who may not have been invested in the stock market at all, gained nothing from the run-up in the market. Studies show that women are generally a little more cautious than men when it comes to investing their assets.
Studies have shown that only 26% of women are optimistic about their personal financial situation, and that women are much more concerned than men about outliving their savings, with 6 out of 10 women not expecting their income to last during retirement. Studies have shown that women tend to have a confidence gap when it comes to investing. In general, they're less optimistic about their own abilities and about the overall economic impact of their savings over time. As we discussed, studies have also shown that women tend to have a confidence gap when it comes to investing. In general, they're less optimistic about their own abilities and about the overall economic impact on their savings over time. As we discussed, women are more conservative investors. They are less sure that they'll be okay. They want to make sure that they'll not run out of money, regardless of their family's level of wealth. Widows are even more concerned that they'll run out of money. They believe that they are on their own financially and want to make every penny last. As we discussed briefly in our past sessions, women live 5 to 6 years longer than men. Plus, they tend to marry men who are older than they are. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, middle-aged women are more likely to be single. 32% of all women were widows in 2018 and outnumbered widowers 3-to-1. Shockingly, periods of widowhood lasting 15 or more years are not uncommon. Planning for being on your own for that long in retirement is daunting, to say the least.
So women tend to save rather than invest. The safety and security of certificate of deposits and bonds appeals to them more than the increased risk of stocks. All of these tendencies result in a rather large shortfall for many women. Women tend to see the growth of their assets to be based on their ability to save rather than seeing the ability to grow their assets through investing. Women also tend to be less likely than men to invest outside of a 401k or employer-sponsored plan, and to employ an overall more conservative investment strategy during their working years, which can impact their investment growth. They spend more of their income as a percentage on living expenses and paying down debt rather than investing in. Investing strictly in tax-qualified plans, such as employer-sponsored 401ks or IRAs, also comes back to bite individuals when they try to live off those assets, as distributions from tax-qualified plans are taxable as ordinary income when withdrawn. So the tax implications can mean that individuals are forced to take an additional 40% more out of their retirement assets because they have to cover the income tax on those withdrawals. Therefore, even couples with millions in assets, if they are held strictly in tax-deferred accounts, may end up struggling to make their funds last in retirement if they do not plan well and take the income taxation into account.
What can be done to set investors in general, and women specifically, up for success? Everyone needs to engage in financial planning and engage early. They should start young and understand their goals and finances and identify where the gaps and opportunities lie. Women specifically should be encouraged to consider investing more aggressively while young and to look at investing differently, understanding their current investments and taking an active role in their family's finances. By increasing their knowledge of how their finances work and taking a holistic approach that focuses not only on creating a strong financial plan, investing, but also incorporates risk reduction strategies such as being properly insured, would definitely combine to guarantee a much more secure and successful future for many. Understand how diversification of a portfolio can be used to lower risk. Understand and take advantage of any tax-qualified savings plans that are available. Know how Social Security works and understand what your options are and how the best decision will help you to maximize your benefits. Seek advice from a trusted advisor. If you're unsure or want a second opinion, because no matter who you are, it's never too late to better understand your finances and to better protect your financial future.
Legacy's team of advisors work hard to provide sophisticated, highly personalized wealth management, trust, and family office services. We focus on providing solutions to the financial challenges that successful individuals and their families face. Our goal for this Women in Wealth series is to use our knowledge and expertise to help women take charge of their own finances and give all of you the tools that you need to thrive as we all come out of this pandemic. As we continue our Women in Wealth series, our next topic will revolve around the impact that the pandemic will have on women going forward into the future. In many ways, the discussion of the future will be a continuation of the family and finance discussions. We hope that you have found today's topic helpful and are able to join us for the next in the series.